there's a funny story about the one where somebody who was an insider trying to sign a $6 million deal to help the Mafia make money, and you found out about as an inspector. What happened there?
That was another mob case. That case took place around 2006, 2008. The head of the Boston organized crime family at that time was a guy named Carmen D'Annunzio, and he was known as the Cheeseman because he operated a cheese shop in the North End, which is the Italian section of Boston.
This the Patriarca family or something like that?
No, that's the earlier one. So this is the New England LCN. This is the Boston-based mob at the time. So we had decimated them through other prosecutions, so he was kind of the next in line, but he wasn't a brain surgeon. So he had friends who owned a dirt farm, and they had toxic loam at the dirt farm that couldn't be used anywhere, and D'Annunzio came up with the brilliant idea that he would sell it to the state of Massachusetts to be used in the construction of the Big Dig. It's a big construction project up there. So we got wind of it, the FBI heard about it, and I was asked to go undercover in that case and pose as a corrupt Massachusetts state official, so I had to go to dirt school. I didn't know there was such a thing where you have to go learn about dirt. There's a lot of things to know about dirt. But again, getting back to, that's what we have to do when we do these things. If you're going to say you're a dirt inspector and you're going to go to a dirt farm, you better know to be able to, you can talk about dirt. So I did my schooling. The state of Massachusetts was tremendous, giving us an education and resources, and I went out and posed as a corrupt state official.
How was that? I mean, is this the time when you pull up with the car and you do what you do with the car? Because that's pretty crazy. I visualize it and I'm thinking to myself, that's insanity.
No, but what that is, and if you looked at it, I used the Cesar Millan School of Training. I used to love to watch Cesar Millan, the dog whisperer. He would control dogs without them understanding he was controlling them. And I took some of the techniques and I would practice on human beings, and they're very effective. And so when I pulled up that day, they're expecting some state inspector. And so I borrowed a state truck, a huge lime green truck. I had all the gear on, the hard hat, the boots. I drove into the dirt farm at about 100 miles an hour, and I just rode around spinning. I ignored them for like 10 minutes. I got out of the truck. I went to the bathroom against the tire. I didn't wash my hands, and I went over and shook their hands and called them by the wrong name. And the point being there that they think this is some nut, but at least they don't think it's an FBI agent. And that was I made such a strong approach to them. I didn't want them to think that I possibly could be there collecting evidence, and they bought it.
How long was that? How long was that undercover timeline on that one?
That case was quick. That was maybe 6 months or less, because it was going down the road when they asked me to. Once they had that opportunity I jumped in quickly because I had previous experience with the LCN. But the office had been trying to make a case for about 2 years, and we made the case from the undercover technique in about 10 meetings.
So what's a short case? What's a long case? I know you said 2.5 years one time being away from the family.
Yeah.
Well, what would be considered a short case?
A short case can literally be 1 day. A good example that we talk about a little bit is these murder for hires come up, or these robberies come up. We get information that somebody wants to hire somebody to kill somebody. We have to get in quickly. We have to try to interrupt that. So you may do that. I did one, or you have bank robberies. Guys want to rob banks, and you need somebody to infiltrate the bank robbers before they do it. You know, we're watching them, we're hoping that they don't strike, but if we have the ability to get next to them, we want to do that. I did one bank robbery case where they wanted me to be the getaway driver, and I had to secure weapons and the car, and of the day of the robbery, I drove the 2 robbers up to the bank while the SWAT team was waiting, and I let them out and I drove away.
Come on. How did they hire you, though? How did they find out about you?
Again, I don't want to give too much to the other side, but believe me, informants are critical to law enforcement, and I'll leave it at that.
Got it.
But then you gotta sell yourself. You may get introduced, but then they gotta believe you're a bank robber. So this is what I mean about the double lives. You know, you're going home at night, but this is what Pistone said, and I say the same thing. I know I'm an FBI agent. I'm not a bank robber. So I'm coaching baseball at night and I'm robbing banks during the day, but I'm not robbing them. I'm helping the SWAT team arrest them. So again, so the general public isn't harmed.